If a woman wants to keep a secret, she should tell her husband, because he probably isn't listening to her anyway. But this isn't a lack of respect. Anatomically, the male brain tends to process information in separate circuits. When he listens, he isolates the language area from the emotional memory center. His mind is likely busy solving another problem or in a state of focused resting. These are not just cultural or behavioral differences. These are neurobiological differences we are designed with. And in this video, we will take a tour inside the male and female brains to understand how 3 scientific differences lead to completely different behavioral patterns. Let's start with anatomy. Research shows that the male brain tends toward localized processing, meaning it relies more on gray matter, which acts as separate processors within specific regions. The result? When a man listens to you, his brain isolates the language area from the emotional memory center. His mind is busy solving another problem or in a state of focused resting. This isn't disinterest, it's functional efficiency for singular focus. In contrast, the female brain has a higher density of white matter, which acts as communication cables connecting the 2 hemispheres. This gives her a remarkable ability for multitasking and combining emotional and linguistic information simultaneously. Now we move to chemistry. Let's look at the reaction under stress. When the hormone cortisol, the stress hormone, rises in a man, his testosterone-driven response is often fight or flight, or isolation to solve the problem. For women, cortisol is partially buffered by the hormone oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This makes her response tend and befriend. She instinctively seeks to talk about the problem to lower her stress levels. This explains the classic misunderstanding. The man wants the silent solution, and the woman wants the listening ear. Both are trying to alleviate stress, but through a completely different brain mechanism. Let's conclude with emotional memory. Women have stronger neural connections between the amygdala, which processes emotions, and the hippocampus, which processes memories. This means that any experience linked to a strong emotion, joy, sadness, anger, is stored in the female brain with richer and more easily retrievable details. As for men, the connections tend to focus on the facts of the situation, what happened, rather than the emotional framework, how did it feel. That's why when a woman forgets a secret and reveals it, the man isn't just not listening. His nervous system simply doesn't register the emotional framework of the secret. In the end, there is no better brain. We are functionally different, and both styles are essential for humanity's survival. The man solves the problem. The woman preserves the social fabric. The secret is not in changing the other person, but in understanding how their mechanism works. If you understand that your husband's zoned-out moment is his brain's way of focusing, and your wife's desire to talk is her brain's way of reducing stress, your life will change. Subscribe to the InfoMed channel now to understand how your body and mind work the scientific way. See you in the next anatomical tour.